foodie friends, welcome to my channel Foodora. In today's video, I am going to show you a basic recipe for brownies. Does brownie need any introduction? No, but before that I have something very important to share about baking today. Guys, when you are baking, try to be as accurate as possible with the ingredients. Now honestly speaking, I do not believe in cup measurements because cup sizes tend to vary according to different countries and different regions. Unlike cooking, you cannot play with the ingredients while the food is being baked. Once the food goes into the oven, you cannot do much about it. You have to just sit back and wait for the finished product. So you have to make sure that everything is accurate before you pop in the food into the oven. That way it will be less likely that your baking would go wrong unless there is a technical issue with the oven or some fluctuation in the power. That is why in all my baking recipes, you will find that the ingredients measurement is given in grams. So if any beginner baking enthusiast is watching this video today, I would request them to please get a kitchen scale. A small kitchen scale can do wonders in baking. Now all that being said, let's jump to the recipe. Here it goes. Here I have got some melted butter. I'm adding the sugar here. I always prefer sifting in the powdered sugar because every time I find big lumps there. Now I will whisk this. Now add the eggs. Whisk in very low speed just to mix them. Remember, you do not want to incorporate air into this because brownies are never fluffy. Add some vanilla extract. Adding just a pinch of salt. I think salt always enhances the flavor of chocolate. Whisk to mix. Of course, you can do this with a fork or a hand whisk. Now I am sifting in the plain flour. Here goes the cocoa powder. Always sift in cocoa powder because you can see there are so many lumps here. I'm also adding in some baking powder. Remember guys, if you want your brownies to be fudgy, don't add this. I want my brownie to be a little cakey, so I'm adding this baking powder which will help the batter to rise a bit. But if you want that fudgy hard texture, do not add this. Now I will whisk in everything. But before that, I'll use this spatula just to avoid that unnecessary shower of cocoa powder upon me. Now gently whisk it. Remember, you're not going to make it airy, just whisk to mix everything. That's it guys. I have a cake tin which I have previously lined with parchment paper. I'm adding some batter to it, hoping that it will stick to the tin. And it does. Now I'm transferring the batter into this cake tin. I'm trying to level up the surface of the batter to avoid uneven baking. Now this will go into the oven which is preheated at 150 degrees centigrade and I'll bake this for 20 to 25 minutes. Now the brownie is out of the oven. After being baked, I allowed it to cool inside the oven for another 30 minutes. It took me exactly 20 minutes to bake this. Guys, do not exceed this time of 20 minutes if you are using the same proportion of ingredients that I am using today. Because you do not want this cake to be crumbly, right? We want this to be gooey and moist. So that's it, guys. Hope you like this recipe. I'm going to enjoy this now with a cup of hot coffee. If you have enjoyed this video, then hit like, share it among your friends and subscribe to my channel Foodora. To subscribe, click the subscribe button. Also press the bell icon to be notified every time I post a video or go live. Remember guys, subscription is free. So take care friends, and I'll see you in my next video.